Well, the great outdoors might be a human's playground, but it is also home to our feathered friends, here to teach us how to feed wildlife healthy food in today's Critters Uncaged. Illinois Wildlife Medical Clinic Director, Dr. Sam Sander, and Brianna Huff. It's great to have you both here with me.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. Okay, one of my favorite parts about summer is just the sound of birds. When you walk outside, how beautiful it is to just embrace the beautiful sounds. But if you also want to treat those little things to some delicious food, there's some options for doing that, but in healthy ways.
Yes, absolutely. So there's lots of ways that people want to help support our wildlife, but some of them can sometimes be a little bit detrimental. And so we want to make sure that people know how to help our wildlife and attract them to their yards if they're interested, but do it in a healthy way.
Do you think there are misconceptions of certain things that are given to wildlife that shouldn't be given to wildlife?
Absolutely. So one of the most common things is feeding bread to ducks and to geese. It actually can be quite dangerous to them. It can upset their bellies and can affect how they grow, especially if they're youngsters. So in that case, we actually recommend frozen peas instead. So instead of feeding white bread to those ducks and geese, if you're going to feed ducks and geese, we recommend frozen peas.
And like as frozen? Why that?
So the peas have a little bit more protein and a little bit better nutritional balance than that bread is going to do. And so it's going to actually be a little bit more helpful to them. It's going to provide some of those nutrients that they would also be getting from the grass and whatnot they would eat anyway.
Okay, and it looks like we have like an entire craft ready here, which I love to do. But also, this is materials that I think a lot of people would probably have at home. Brianna, what are we doing with all this?
Yeah, so we're actually going to go ahead and make some more like natural bird feeder options. A lot of people use kind of like wooden feeders or plastic feeders, which are great options for birds as well, as long as you're maintaining them and cleaning them like every other week. But for these are some things that you can find kind of in your kitchen or even in your yard, like pine cone wise. We've got a couple of different types of feeders that we're going to make today. So we can probably go ahead and start with our orange feeder.
So with an orange, you can take an orange, you can eat the inside of the orange, but what do we do with this rind, right? Usually it ends up in a compost or in the trash. So instead, once you're done with your orange, you can actually coat the inside with peanut butter, make it a little bit sticky, get a little bit of an extra treat in there.
Oh,
right?
So they like peanut butter. I wouldn't have thought that.
Yep. And then we can go ahead and fill that with bird seed.
Okay.
Just like this. All right, and then if you have any skewers, maybe for shish kebabs or for grilling, something like that, you can go ahead and poke them through, and we can use these to actually hang the bird feeder in your tree.
Oh, interesting. So you're going to do you use these things to hang it, or do you just kind of set it in there?
Yeah, you can do it either way. So if you've got a tree that's got a lot of branches, you can potentially just set it in. Otherwise, you can use string. Now, if you're using string, you want to use something that's more organic material. You don't want to use things like fishing line or something synthetic, because that could hurt their bellies. It could get entangled around their legs and otherwise cause some issues. And so we want to make sure that we're using organic material when we're hanging it. And once you're done using it, go ahead and take it down.
Now, how long will this last out there?
That depends on how hungry your birds are and how hot it is, certainly. So it is all organic, which is great, but it does mean that orange will spoil. So we want to take that flesh out to elongate how long it's going to last. But if it's sitting in that direct sun, you will want to take it down after a couple of days.
Does this kind attract a certain kind of bird?
So the fruity smell will certainly attract certain kinds of songbirds, but really what's going to make a difference is what kind of seed you use. So certain birds will be attracted to the black sunflower seeds, others like the littler seeds, and so that's actually going to probably affect that attraction a little bit differently.
Okay, all right, now what do we use the cone for?
So the pine cone is a very similar concept, and so what we can do is coat the outside of the pine cone with peanut butter, again roll it in your seed, and then use this string to be able to hang the pine cone in a tree.
Now, is there a reason for using, I can see the toilet paper roll here, the pine cone, and the orange. Is there, variation, or is it just based on what you have available?
It's based on what you have available. We wanted to make sure that people had opportunities that were going to be available in their homes, in their kitchens, and would be, available to anyone potentially. So these are all great options, great opportunities for you to engage with your kids, to be able to make some crafts if you got a summer camp, or really just some kids at home who would like to play a little bit more.
Yeah, this is such a good, engaging kind of craft to do, but also you're going to have some happy birds outside your window.
Absolutely.
Now, Brianna, you mentioned cleaning if you have a bird feeder. Is there a certain way you should clean it?
Yeah, absolutely. So depending on the type of bird feeder, a lot of them, we have songbird feeders, and they can be made, again, of like wood or plastic, things like that. For those ones that you're putting seed in, typically we recommend cleaning it about every other week with a bleach solution that's diluted, so about 9 parts water to 1 part bleach, and then letting it dry out completely before you fill it back up with seed and put it outside. Another common one that we see that we really push cleaning for is hummingbird feeders. So hummingbird feeders birds really need a lot more maintenance. We really recommend cleaning those as much as possible. Every day is ideal, but every other day is also acceptable. Cleaning those with some Dawn dish soap and some water, and then making sure you're putting it outside again with that sugar solution, just because that cleaning helps from the sugar solution spoiling, making sure they're getting fresh sugar solution, and ultimately, again, it's just kind of keeping them healthy.
There you go. So if people are looking to just get some extra songbirds outside their windows, maybe some of these options are good for them. And again, what I love about it is they probably have these materials at home.
Yep.
So jot all these things down. You don't need much, maybe a toilet paper roll, maybe a pine cone, maybe an orange, whatever you have available to you. All you need is some peanut butter, birdseed, and of course, don't feed the bread to the ducks and geese, I guess. Important to know. All right, well, thank you guys so much. There's a look at their Facebook page. They do amazing work at the Wildlife Medical Clinic at Illinois. And of course, we'll connect you with all this information so you can create your own bird feeders over on our website, saleliving.tv.